by S into S plus 2 delta. Instead of delta, the damping ratio can be even written as zeta, delta omega n. And H of S is equal to 1. So we have the transfer function C of S by R of S is equal to G of S divided by 1 plus G of S into H of S. This is the standard form of a closed loop transfer function. So if on substituting the value of G of S and H of S, we get omega n square divided by S square plus 2 delta omega n into S plus omega n square. So this is the closed loop transfer function. So if you observe the denominator, the highest power of S is 2. So we call it as a second order system. So we can write C of S as omega n square divided by S square plus 2 delta omega n into S plus omega n square into R of S. This R of S can be either step, ramp or any type of inputs. So we will be obtaining the response C of t for a step input. Now if you observe the denominator, we have an equation S square plus 2 delta omega ns plus omega n square. That denominator term is called as characteristic equation. So the characteristic equation is S square plus 2 delta omega ns plus omega n square is equal to 0. So if we solve this characteristic equation, we will get different roots based on the value of delta. So if delta is equal to 0, we will get the roots as imaginary. If delta is equal to 1, we get two roots which are negative, real and equal. If delta is greater than 1, we get two roots which are negative, real but they are not equal. And when delta lies between 0 and 1, we get the roots which are complex conjugate. So depending upon the value of delta, the roots varies. So if delta equal to 0, we call the system as undamped system. If delta is equal to 0, the system is called as undamped system. If delta is equal to 1, we call it as a critically damped system. Critically damped system. If delta is greater than 1, we call it as a overdamped system. And if delta lies within 0 and 1, we call it as underdamped system. So based on the value of delta, we can categorize the system as undamped, critically damped, overdamped or underdamped system. So both this critically damped and overdamped system, we do not exhibit any peak overshoot. So that is most important point to remember. Critically damped and overdamped systems do not exhibit any peak overshoot. So in the case of undamped system, the transient response will not die out, it is purely oscillatory. Whereas in a critically damped system, the response rises slowly and it reaches the final value. Whereas in the case of overdamped system, the response rises quickly to its final value. In the underdamped case, it oscillates and then finally settles to a steady state value. Now we will obtain the step response of this second order system for delta equal to 0, delta equal to 1, delta greater than 1 and delta which lies between 0 to 1. So first we will write the output of the second order system C of s is equal to omega n square divided by s square plus 2 delta omega n into s plus omega n square. We have to find what is the response in time domain, which is C of t. So for that, C of s is this into R of s. So R of t is 1 for a unit step input. Therefore, R of s is equal to 1 by s. So we can write C of s as omega n square divided by s square plus 2 delta omega n into s plus omega n square into 1 by s. Now we will consider the 4 different cases: undamped, underdamped, overdamped and critically damped cases. So the first one which we consider is an undamped case where delta is equal to 0. So when delta is equal to 0, this C of s reduces to omega n square divided by s square plus omega n square into s. So we have C of s as this. From this C of s we need to obtain what is C of t. So to obtain C of t, since this C of s is not in the standard form, we go for partial fractions. C of s is equal to omega n square by s into s square plus omega n square. We will write it as a by s plus bs plus c divided by s square plus omega n square. So if you solve this, omega n square is equal to a into s square plus omega n square plus bs plus c into s. We get a is equal to 1, b is equal to minus 1 and c is equal to 0. So we can substitute it in C of s, which gives us 1 by s minus s divided by s square plus omega n square. So from this equation 1, we will obtain what is C of t. So C of t is, by obtaining the inverse Laplace, we get 1 minus cos omega n t. This is the response of a second order system which is undamped, delta equal to 0. So there is no damping in this. So this response will not die out with time. So this type of response, you call it as undamped response. So you get a output like this, a cosine wave. So it will keep on oscillating. So the response will not die out. It gives you a sustained oscillations. So next we will see what happens when delta is equal to 1. So for critically damped case, substitute delta equal to 1 in the standard form. So in the denominator it becomes s square plus 2 omega ns plus omega n square into 1 by s is, this is R of s. So we can write this as C of s is equal to omega n square divided by s is this one, s into s square plus 2 omega ns plus omega n square. We can write it as s plus omega n the whole square. Now in order to obtain the time response C of t, we need to go for the inverse Laplace. So before we take the inverse Laplace, we have to resolve it into partial fractions. So on resolving this into the partial fractions, we get C of s is equal to 1 by s minus omega n divided by s plus omega n the whole square minus 1 by s plus omega n. We get this. So now we can take the inverse Laplace. C of t is equal to 1 minus omega n into t into e to the power minus omega n into t minus e to the power minus omega n t, or it can be rewritten as 1 minus 1 plus omega n into t into e to the power minus omega n into t for all values of t greater than or equal to 0. This is the response of a critically damped system. Then the output what you obtain will be exponentially increasing one. The steady state value is 1. This is C of t. This is t. So this is the response to a critically damped second order system. Next we go for the third case where zeta lies between 0 and 1. That is a underdamped system. So for an underdamped case, we first write what is C of s and the delta which varies between 0 and 1. So first, we cannot take the response C of t directly. We need to resolve it into the partial fractions. So on resolving this into the partial fractions, we get, so this we can write it as C of s is equal to a by s plus bs plus c divided by s square plus 2 delta omega n into s plus omega n square. On simplifying, we get a is equal to 1, b is equal to minus 1 and c is equal to minus 2 delta omega n. So we'll substitute and we get what is C of s. C of s is equal to 1 by s minus s plus delta omega n into 2 divided by s square plus 2 delta omega n into s plus omega n square. This can be rewritten as 1 by s minus s plus delta omega n divided by s plus delta omega n the whole square plus omega n square into 1 minus delta square. S plus delta omega n the whole square plus omega n square into 1 minus delta square minus delta omega n divided by s plus delta omega n the whole square plus omega n square into 1 minus delta square. So this particular second term we split it into two, this and this one. So we have three terms here, first term, second term and the third term. Now we go for applying the inverse Laplace. inverse Laplace C of t is equal to 1 minus e to the power minus delta omega n into t cos omega d into t minus delta omega n by omega d into e to the power minus delta omega n into t sin omega d t, where omega d is equal to omega n into root of 1 minus delta square. So we can rewrite this as C of t equal to 1 minus e raised to minus delta omega n into t cos omega dt minus this omega d value we substitute here, omega and get cancelled, so we have delta divided by root of 1 minus delta square e to the power minus delta omega n into t sin omega dt. We have e to the power minus delta omega n into t common in both the terms. We take it out. We get C of t equal to 1 minus e to the power minus delta omega n into t by root of 1 minus delta square. We take it out. So we have 1 minus delta square into cos omega dt plus delta into sin omega dt. This is what we have. So we substitute root of 1 minus delta square as sin theta. 1 minus delta square root as sin theta. Therefore, our cos theta is equal to delta, or our tan theta becomes root of 1 minus delta square by delta. Therefore, we rewrite this particular response C of t by replacing root of 1 minus delta square as sin theta and delta as cos theta. So we get C of t equal to 1 minus e to the power minus delta omega n into t divided by root 1 minus delta square into sin theta cos omega dt plus cos theta into sin omega dt. So this is of the form sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. So we can rewrite this as 1 minus e to the power minus delta omega n t divided by root 1 minus delta square into sin of omega dt plus theta. So this theta value we can write it as theta is tan inverse of root 1 minus delta square by delta. We can substitute it here for t greater than or equal to 0. So our response will be of this kind. So we get a response of this kind where the oscillations are reducing. So it can be either positive value or it can be a negative value. So it is a decaying sinusoidal decay on an exponential envelope. So the last case is overdamped where zeta is greater than 1. So we have for delta greater than 1. We have C of S is equal to omega n square divided by S into S square plus 2 delta omega n into S plus omega n square. So we can rewrite this as omega n square divided by S into S plus delta omega n the whole square minus omega n square into delta square minus 1. We can split this as omega n square divided by S into S plus delta omega n plus omega n into root delta square minus 1 into S plus delta omega n minus omega n into root of delta square minus 1. Now we will consider this term as A and this term as B for our simplifications. So later on we will replace A and B. So we have it in the form C of S is equal to 1 divided by S into S plus A into S plus B. On simplifying this, we have to resolve it into partial fractions. On resolving it into partial fractions, we get 1 over S by A into B plus 1 divided by minus A into S plus A into minus A plus B plus 1 over minus B into S plus B into minus B plus A. This is what we get. So we have to substitute the value of A and B so that we get what is S of S, and then we take the inverse Laplace of it. So we get C of S is equal to 1 by S minus 1 divided by 2 root of delta square minus 1 into delta minus root of delta square minus 1 into S plus delta minus root delta square minus 1 into omega n plus 1 over 2 into root delta square minus 1 into delta plus root of delta square minus 1 into S plus delta plus root delta square minus 1 into omega n. So if we take the Laplace, inverse Laplace, we get C of t is equal to 1 plus omega n divided by 2 into root of delta square minus 1 into e to the power minus s1 into t by s1 minus e to the power minus s2 into t by s2, where our s1 and s2 is given by s1 is equal to delta plus root of delta square minus 1 into omega n, s2 is equal to delta minus root of delta square minus 1 into omega n. So for values of delta comparatively greater than 1, the effect of faster time constant on the time response can be neglected, and we can write C of t as 1 minus e to the power minus delta minus root of delta square minus 1 into omega n into t, all this exponential term, divided by 2 into root of delta square minus 1 into delta minus root of delta square minus 1. The time constant of the response is given by t is equal to 1 by delta minus root of delta square minus 1 into omega n. This is the time constant of the response. So we will see what happens to the response, how the response looks like. So for delta equal to 0, we will have a response like this. If delta is equal to 0.1, the response will be like this. Next, if delta is equal to 0.2, it will again vary. If delta is equal to 0.6, again it will be of this kind. And finally,